We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, episode 285. I am your man behind the microphone, your current reigning and defending Scholars of Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, Scholar Jeff. To my right this week is the current reigning and defending Scholars of Wrestling Party Champion, Scholar Tarek. Scholar Tarek, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm actually kind of heartbroken.
Heartbroken? Why heartbroken?
Because I've been working my ass off this week to try and make a time machine for us to go back in time and try and save Scholar Brian from being Thanos'd out of existence. He's still MIA. We still Thanos'd him out of existence. And I'm trying my damnedest to try and get him back. I miss our Scholar Brian.
I guess you know what this means. We're going to have to construct our own time machine and go back to get all the Infinity Stones so we can de-Thanos Brian.
I've been trying, man, but I've always been coming out as a child or an old man or
I
a
see this
sperm.
as an absolute win. But in all seriousness, we wish Scholar Brian the best. But until then, we must carry on. For there is yet another week of wrestling in the books, and it's really starting to go and kick in the high gear.
On which part?
Well, it looks like we're going to have big event after big event after big event later on this month alone.
Oh wow, that is absolutely right. It's gonna be It's gonna be prediction show, reaction prediction show, reaction prediction show. Oh my God, we have a lot of predictions this next
Yes.
month.
Yes. In 2 weeks, we've got AEW coming up. And the week before that, we have our prediction show for the big Saudi Arabia show coming up, Super Showdown, which is going to be happening the night we record. And leads us up to this week, where we're going to be covering this Sunday night's NXT Takeover Portland.
This is the first time NXT is actually on a Sunday, correct?
I believe it is correct, yes.
So yeah, it's a pretty interesting deal.
It almost caught me off guard. I was like, wait, NXT is coming up? It's a takeover on a Sunday?
Sunday.
Hey, it's an extra night of wrestling. Can't go wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's dive right in and break it down. This is NXT Takeover Portland.
Dun 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 dun. Break it down.
Breaking it down, starting off with what already seems to be an early pick for match of the night for me. We've got Keith Lee versus Dominik Dijakovic. Fool, who do you got?
Oh, yeah, I'm going first. All right. Well, I'm gonna stick with Keith Lee successfully defending the championship.
I got the pen.
Mainly just because he's only had it for a couple weeks now. It's a brand new title reign. I don't see them dropping it anytime soon.
I almost went Keith Lee for this for only one reason, and it's because they seem to be strapping the rocket to this guy. Mm-hmm. They're pushing him to the moon, and unless they've got something like really, really good for him right in the here and now, I'd say like, okay, just put it on Dijakovic and just upgrade Keith Lee. But I think I'm going to have to go with you right now. As much as I don't think that he's going to hang on to the title for too long, because he's going to be moved on to bigger and better things soon enough, I really do not think that now is that time. It really is way too soon. I'm going to join you and going for Keith Lee. Now, that being said, again, this seems like such a stacked card for being a relatively small one. Speaking of small ones,
they usually have stacked cards, so it's not
we've
that surprising.
got Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox. And for this one, I'm just going to say Dakota Kai. I think she's been looking way too good, and Dakota Kai is honestly just a fun name to say. So I'm going to go with Dakota Kai because I like saying it and because I hope she wins so I can say it a lot more.
Say it 3 times fast.
Dakota Kai, Dakota Kai, Dakota Kai.
Faster.
Dakota Kai, Dakota Kai, Dakota Kai.
Good job.
Yes. Anyway, who do you got?
I'm also going to go with Dakota Kai because I believe, if I recall correctly, they had a match already where Tegan Nox actually beat her already. So I could see them actually evening out this scorecard. Because I could see this feud lasting a while.
Interesting. All right, speaking of interesting, again, I feel like I keep fighting back the urge to say, okay, here's a contender for a match of the night. Here is the one I'm really looking forward to because, again, I keep looking down at our run sheet. We got so much good stuff to look forward to, including this. Adam Cole versus Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship.
I'm actually going to ask you to go with first on this one because I actually want to hear what your thoughts on this. Because, honestly, this is one of the two matches that I've actually had the most difficult time really predicting. And I just want to... You're in that same boat, aren't you?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to invoke my right as a champion to run it, play it as it lies. You're going first.
That's not even a real rule. You know what?
It is when I have the belt.
This is really a tough one because I'm just gonna go on this. I think Goldie's gonna reunite with her daddy. I'm gonna go with Tommaso Ciampa.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think this is gonna be the one night where it's not gonna be very undisputed for a certain era, if you know what I mean.
I'll be honest, and here is my genuine logic here. With the way everything is positioned right now, I really do feel like everything, all the title matches, with the exception of Keith Lee, and with the exception of Keith Lee and the women's title match, I feel like a lot of these titles could go, honestly, either way.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about the timing that it just doesn't, like, it's stopping me from going 100% into Tommaso Ciampa. But at the same time, I think you're right. I think he does have a legitimate shot at it. But it's not enough for me to be like, okay, this is absolutely going to happen. This is absolutely not going to happen. So, all that being said, I am going to go with Adam Cole for this one.
That's perfectly fair. I'm not truly confident in my prediction anyway. If anything, I actually see Ciampa actually winning at WrestleMania weekend.
See, this is what I'm thinking about going. A case could be made for either direction. So I fully am convinced that I'm just going to go with whichever one that you do not go for.
Okay.
Because if it's gonna be unpredictable, you might as well at least make it interesting.
Cause I actually for this card, I actually see us pretty much predicting the same for this, and yeah, I'm like I gotta go with at least one difference here, and I'm like Adam Cole was my initial thought, but I'm thinking just do something different, just throw a random wrench in that machine and just watch it go haywire. And that wrench is Tommaso Ciampa.
All right. That being said, next match we've got another toss-up for me. Undisputed Era, the tag champs versus the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic champions, the Broserweights. And it's my turn now, isn't it?
It is.
Oh boy, here we go. I was afraid of this. But as much as I hate to go in this direction, I've got a really nasty suspicion that they're going to take them. Part of me wants to say they're going to take it off the Undisputed Era and give it to the Broserweights. But then again, I'm still in this headspace of, would they really call up the Undisputed Era now? Would they really take off all of their belts and all their stuff now? And I have a really, really hard time saying that, unless they're really priming them for some sort of big thing at WrestleMania.
I think
which they could theoretically do in either WrestleMania itself or before. So it all genuinely feels like a crapshoot. That being said, I don't want to have any dead air here. This one's a tough one.
You're trying, like, you are seriously fighting that because you're just thinking.
All right, I've got my answer. I'm going to go with the Broserweights to win for one reason and one reason only that trumps them all. Just because I'm going to have a lot of fun seeing this mishmash of Dude Bro McGee versus Break Your Fingers Billy. So I'm just doing it because it's fun for me. Broserweights to win. Phil, who do you got?
I'm also going to go with Broserweights, but with what you said about Undisputed Era making their main roster debut, I actually see that happening on the Raw after Mania. That's a good way to make an impact.
But do you think that warrants them losing the belts at this exact show?
For the Tag Team Championship, yeah. For the NXT Championship, no. I like I said earlier, I actually do think they're gonna have Cole drop the title at WrestleMania weekend, and that's gonna be their final straw that has them jump up to the red, at least the red brand.
Okay.
Because I actually see them working with a Paul Heyman structure, than Bruce Pritchard on the blue brand. Like I said, I threw Ciampa earlier because I'm not confident on that one. I just threw a difference one. But yeah, I actually picked the Broserweights mainly because of their video package that we've seen this past week. I don't know why. I just see them. I actually see this being similar to, and I'm drawing a blank. I hate that I'm drawing a blank on this one.
What team are you thinking about right now?
More the announced team. Oh God, I hate that I'm having a brain fart.
King and Jerry Lawler?
No. Where they always had those video packages of them doing stupid shit.
You're talking about like way back in the day.
Yeah. I'm terrible.
Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon.
Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon.
Wow, that's really going back.
Like I said, I don't know why I forgot about that. I see them doing video packages like that.
Well, I was thinking more like the modern day. I wasn't thinking we were talking like way back in the day.
Well, I'm thinking I see their video packages as similar to that, and the crowd are loving them right now. So go while the iron's hot.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I dig it. Next up, we've got Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano. It's just a singles match. Nothing fancy about it, except for maybe the match that we're going to see because of it. Fool, who do you got?
I'm going with Finn Balor. Because I see him being the top heel of the black and gold brand, and he needs a good secure win. And who we kidding? Gargano's not going to suffer anything with this loss. So it's once again the thing where the heel actually needs the win more than the face to solidify his dominance. And Finn Balor, and I actually see this as a lead up to him. I see someone coming in, and maybe a new Balor club will start forming on this one, just to continue adding to him slowly taking over the brand. Sort of what they're doing with Seth Rollins, except, with Finn Balor, and he could actually, continue rising up, being that he's the Wednesday night Messiah, if you will.
For this one, I'm going to go with Johnny Gargano. I'm going with Johnny Gargano because really, I feel like there's some of the flaws of Finn Balor are starting to show. Like, I don't know. I can't tell. Some days I feel like I'm just getting tired of him. So other days I feel like his stuff is just getting a little bit on the stale side. Part of me is saying that I just have this gut feeling that maybe they'll just throw a random win to Johnny Gargano, and then the rest of the Balor Club will form as like, okay, wait, you don't get away with beating me. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna start forming an army behind me. No, not happening. And that's when we get the whole Balor Club expansion and all of that.
Okay.
But most of all, I just really want to see something where we can just pit each other against. And I don't see it happening with any of the other matches on this card, including this one. What does seem to be possibly your main event for the NXT Women's Division, we've got the champion Rhea Ripley going up against Bianca Belair. For this one, I think this one's pretty cut and dry. Gonna go with Rhea Ripley here. They're obviously hinting very, very much that, it's gonna be her and Charlotte at WrestleMania, herpa-derpa-derp. It's fairly obvious. They kind of spoiled it, all but that. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley, and then maybe you're going to get a run-in from Charlotte Flair after the fact, setting it up for the match that we all know is going to happen. Rhea Ripley for the win.
It's actually funny because this is just me choosing a winner, but I don't think it's actually going to happen this way. I'm also going to choose Rhea Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to choose a winner, it's Rhea Ripley. But in all honesty, I actually, with what they did on NXT these last couple of weeks with Charlotte, well, at least the first week with Charlotte, I actually have a feeling that they're going to actually end this match in no contest.
You know what?
And it's going to set up, I actually see a triple threat with Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte at WrestleMania.
That would be really interesting.
I don't know. I just felt like they're now throwing Bianca Belair up there with these two, trying to have her make a name, just as much a name for herself. Especially after what they did with her in the Royal Rumble, being one of the ones who have the most eliminations. I think she tied with Shayna Baszler.
Mm-hmm.
Just having her and Rhea Ripley take out Charlotte, and then the next week for the go home angle, Bianca Belair takes out Rhea Ripley. I see Charlotte coming out during the match and taking them both out, and that's pretty much what she wants, because she's Charlotte Flair. Damn it, she's like, I want both of them, but I also want it for the NXT Women's title.
So in other words, she'll take them both. She's hardcore.
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. The only thing I would disagree with you on is I don't think it's going to happen as a no contest at a takeover. If it was just like a random NXT Wednesday night thing, then I'd say, yeah, you got something there. But I just really do not think a takeover is going to end in a no contest. I really don't see it happening.
It usually doesn't, but because this is also like setting up for WrestleMania, because it's more, this one is more plot. When they just end it because they don't want either guy to lose and it's just basically a bullshit ending, then yeah, that's a reason for people to get upset. But this is a one where actually it sets up where there's no clear winner, and both of them are still strong enough to actually be put in a WrestleMania match with Charlotte Flair, which I think both women deserves, and it'll work for the plot, for the angle of the build for WrestleMania, which in any case, yes, it'll be a bullshit ending, but at least it's a bullshit ending that is warranted for the angle. Because trust me, I'm one of those guys too, when I hate bullshit endings just as much as the next guy, but as long as they actually have an ending that is justified for that bullshit ending, other than just saying, oh yeah, we're in a spot where we can't have either guy lose, so let's just make it so nobody wins. Yeah, that's stupid. That's just going, okay, you guys had no real plan with this one. This one, it is a plan, and it works for the build.
Well, there you have it. There's any number of ways that this can go. This is how we believe it's going to go in our eyes. So now we have nothing else to do but toss it over to you, the wrestling listening, viewing, consuming public. Wherever you are all across the internet, we want to hear from you. You heard me.
I did.
Yes.
Confusing.
Facebook, YouTube, the Twitter machines, wherever you are all across the internet, we want to hear from you. Who's going to walk away from TakeOver as a champion? Who's going to win? Who's going to lose? We want to hear it all. So join the conversation, especially on Twitter, where you can check us out at our main page at ScholarsOW for all the latest episode uploads. And you can also check us out on our personal Twitter accounts. Where can they reach you?
You can reach me at the Avataric.
And you can reach me at I'm Robbie Rage. And you can also check out our other partner in crime, the other scholar, Atomic Beanpole, for Scholar Brian's latest commentaries. That's a lot of talking.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and don't forget, while this might just be for points for the end of the year to the total score, next week, the next week's prediction show is going to be part of the Scholars of Wrestling Championship Gauntlet.
Cheese.
Oh, yes.
No, you holding the belt upside down. Cheese.
Yes. I am a cheese. Because you know what? If I'm going to have a championship scramble for my Scholars of Wrestling Championship, I'm going to make it interesting for me. So, Fool, if you're ready to predict, if any of the other scholars are ready to predict, get your thinking caps on. Get ready to predict and compete for the number one contendership for my Scholars of Wrestling Championship. And you know what? No matter what happens, I'm just going to make it fun for me. And I know you would too. You know why?
I would make it fun for you. Make it fun for the viewing audience.
I don't care. I'm making it fun for me. Because you know who I am, and you know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome. See you all at TakeOver.